guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're discussing something a little bit different. We're talking about the total of weight moved when you are doing an exercise. So for example, a lot of people, they squat 30 kilos at full range, and that's quite easy. Then they go up, up to 35 or 40 kilos, and that's when their range gets a little bit shorter. So today we're discussing how that affects your results.
It's really important to understand that when you are performing strength-based exercises, that there's going to be a little bit of uncertainty whether or not you can complete the weight if it's moved or if it's very heavy for you. So more often than not, you'll see people's range become restricted when they start to increase their load, like Brianna has just mentioned. But you need to also understand that the total work that you are doing is the most important part of the weight session. So weight training is very accumulative, and you can draw that session out over a long period of time and still see amazing results if the periodization and the amount of weight moved and the correct distance traveled is appropriate for the results.
So a lot of the time, people's, I would say, ego get in the way of when they're training. So they're like, yeah, I can squat 100 kilos, and then they do it and their range is only halfway. So really, if you squatted 90 kilos and did full range, you're going to get better results. The squat will be harder because you're traveling a longer distance.
So we've put together a little, equation of actual work and how that applies to when you're moving the weight over a certain distance, and how that applies back to total workload over the session or the set. So the total work you do in a session is going to come down to an output, and we need to work that output out. Obviously, you're not going to do this every session, but this is the importance of, okay, when I perform a strength-based exercise, I need to actually make sure that my range is exactly the same as it always is, and this is going to change based on the individual. Obviously, everyone is capable of doing a full range exercise. However, this distance will vary based on the person. So if you look at it, we have load. So this would be the weight on the bar by gravity, which is 9.8, I'm not gonna say about, and then that's by distance traveled. So if we say took a 40 kilo bar and we squatted that against gravity 60 centimeters, or say 0.6 is your full range, we come out with 235 joules. So that's the work done from performing that movement. And then if we compare that, so if we increase the weight slightly and then against gravity, and we shorten that range like we talked about in the video, so people's range is more restricted when they add load because they're kind of uncertain whether or not they can get down there, so they get a bit scared. So if we do 45, a bit heavier by gravity by 0.4, we're only outputting 176.4 joules of work. And then if you multiply that by reps, to put it in perspective, if we did this, say, by about 5 reps, because you often see people do 5 by 5 or a couple of sets of 5 just for some strength-based training, you'll have 235.2 by 5, we're at 1175 joules. And if we go 176 by 5, obviously it's going to be a smaller number, we're in the 880 joules of work. So you can see the benefits of moving the weight the correct distance for you when performing an exercise.